Girl, little do you know, just cause you got your fucking degree, I think you know every goddamn thing.
And 2 plus 2 is 5. 5 plus 5 is 10. What the fuck is this?
Because it's not for me.
Math isn't mathing and my medulla is not medullaing.
Hello, Tasties. Welcome to another episode of your favorite podcast. Okay, but wait. I am your host, A Few Drinks In.
I'm your... Hi.
Bitch. I have a lovely guest with me. This has been a long time coming. This is like the second time I said that this season, but like, y'all motherfuckers been having me wait.
We really have. But the time has come.
The time has come. Because we were supposed to do a podcast episode when I was working at the damn car dealership in 20 bitch.
And it's tomorrow. 2020 motherfucking
3. No, because I was like,
I almost said 2026.
He said, I'm going to be rich and famous.
We're thinking about the future here.
No,
as you should too.
I'm like, depending on my editing skills, that might be when this episode comes out.
This is our TED Talk. This is our, what is it? Make a business or something like that talk.
Let's teach you how to formulate this business.
And to hear, and a good podcast, I'd like to say cheers to you, Henri. For everything that you're doing, the opportunity that you're giving other people is very immaculate.
Thank you. Did I hear that clunk?
The clunk.
Because this drink is popping.
Oh my gosh, I'm wet.
No, like I'm quite literally wet from shaking it.
Y'all hear it? It sounds like Niagara Falls.
Dumb.
But
But I have the lovely Blue Luna with me. A long-time high school friend. Is it ex-military or veteran? We'll just say veteran.
she's a bad. She's a bad.
I'm like, I just feel like ex-military just sounded so bad.
Discharged, which was, but it's okay. I'm a veteran.
No.
On paper, I'm a veteran.
1,000%, girl. Do you still have like the VA card?
Yeah.
Oh, girl, you're a veteran.
I'm a part of this because I'm a veteran.
Okay, you get the military discount. You're a veteran.
I think I still have a picture of my military tag from the last time that we tried to go out.
No.
So, inside joke, nobody, like, last time I was home, I was on Christmas leave, and me and Henri actually went out to the local bars, and I had no ID. I lost my ID. Just recently got a new ID.
It's only been 6 months now.
I just recently got a new ID. Driving dirty. And we tried to go into one of the local bars, and they would not allow me in.
They would
not.
They were like,
They were
no,
like,
bitch.
who's this guy? Looked me up and down. I was in a dress.
And the heels. Which the heels were... The heels were healing.
The heels were healing.
Okay.
They were giving...
I can't see you down there.
Can't. My nose is in the way. And my cheekbones. More like my cheek fat. I'm still baby faced. This drink, oh my goodness.
It's good.
I think you came in it because I'm definitely coming. Coming for more later.
Make sure y'all get those glasses
Ooh.
and pour it up. And make sure to hit that subscribe button while you're at it.
Yeah, because we're here for you.
We're here for you, but more importantly, we're here for the drinks. It's so
Because
funny.
they're drinking.
They are.
And
It's
we're sipping.
so funny because I have an episode on here about sobriety, and I'm like,
Oh my gosh, can we have like a sobriety talk one day?
one of these days I'm going to go California sober.
Why?
Do you know what that is?
Oh, I thought you meant you were just going to be sober in California the whole time. I was like, why the fuck would you want to do that? That's like a waste of everything.
Hello, Tasties. Welcome back. Hopefully I got a few new subscribers. We got a few new subscribers.
Oh, I'm sure of it.
I mean, like, how could they not?
Look at us.
Who would have thought?
Not me. I'm like,
We are honestly actually gonna kind of like pivot, not caveat. We're
180.
gonna pivot.
We're gonna 180.
About face. And we're gonna pivot and we're actually going to talk about, let's first begin with your journey within the military.
Oh my goodness, from beginning to end? Or just.
I'm like, however you want to tell it. Like, if you want to give us a little Tinder bio, like.
It's on the bottom.
He said 5'7".
Yeah, because jumping out of airplanes makes you shorter. Oh my goodness, I enlisted in the military in Keller. Going to Byron, and that's where we went to high school together. Oh my goodness, my recruiter is my best friend. Everybody in the military likes to talk about how they hate their recruiter.
I hated mine.
And you know what? My recruiter was so real with me. Storm Cox, if you're watching this, baby, I love you. She was like, the infantry is hard. And I was in a crossroad in my life where I was like, my parents are fighting. My parents just got a divorce. I just graduated in high school. I don't quite know what to do with my career. Don't feel, if you are considering the military right after high school, that it is an immediate you choice. Like, it chose you because you have no other options. You just haven't expanded your mindset yet. That's where I was caught up. Because I was like, I want to still have fun, but I need to be a little bit more disciplined. And I had known, even me being a femme gay and everything like that, that if I were to serve, I would have served for a reason. It wasn't going to be a supporting cast. It was going to be the main hot rod deal. And she was that.
I thought I wanted to be starring.
I wanted to be that bitch, and I wanted to learn so much.
Yeah.
So much. And I hardly learned shit in high school, so there was space and opportunity. I only learned your man's Instagram. Oh my gosh, I shipped out from Dallas, MEPS, and went straight to Georgia, Atlanta. Went to Fort Benning for a 22-week cycle. That is a long fucking time. I was there in October, and I think I graduated from basic around April, or a little bit before April, because I went to airborne school. So for all the people that know military fucking lingo, I guess, I was an 11 Bravo with an option for a contract, which means I was an infantry paratrooper. I went through the 22-week cycle. We went through basic and AIT. Basic is where you learn your standardized basic training. If the world came to the point to where we just needed everybody in the military to fight for their lives, and for just what they stand for and what they signed up for. AIT is where you strictly learn about your job. You learn whether it's intel, whether it's supply or infantry or whatever. You learn that. I never left basic training. It was consistently for 22 weeks of basic training. We were constantly getting all fucked up. They were smoking us. I would say after that first month and a half, they were like, okay, Bravo Company, you're gonna go to Delta Company 347. That was where I was. That was my training unit. They loaded us up. They also gave us the choice to be 11 Charlie, which is a mortar. The people that are pussies and shoot rounds from far away rather than up front. So we were 11 Bravos. I didn't want to switch my MOS. I didn't want to be that person. I wanted the nitty gritty and to show that me as a gay man can do anything the straight man next to me can do, if not better.
So do you think that a lot of what you did within the military stemmed from, I guess, trauma of being a homosexual man?
Absolutely. I was very much so degraded and almost pushed to the side by other gay people, hence why I don't get along with a bunch of gay people, because I see the nastiness that can evolve out of the community. Mm-hmm. Of course, I'm hoping that changes very much so soon. But we can only be the people that do that and make that change, because it's the community that we involve ourselves in and we choose to be involved in. I was ready to be something a little bit more than what I have been told my whole life, and that was, you're not going to make it because of who you are and what you believe in and your your sexuality and stuff like that. It was very negative. Everything was very negative. Little did I know, joining the biggest gang in the world was so much worse than that.
Yeah.
And that's literally where it started. That's where it started. I got shipped to 30th AG, and the first person that walked up to me was like, "Oh my God, you're a faggot," and you have to take it with a grain of salt because you're in a uniform that represents so much more than who you are. It represents you. It represents this country. It represents this city and your friends and everything more than that. You have to be an image, and I think a lot of people took that for granted.
Yeah.
And it was like, I'm gonna get in here and learn how to kill people, and there's not shit anyone else can tell me. Which that does get a lot to a lot of people's heads, and I know every now and then, like it gets to mine because I'm so trained with what I have done in my life in just the military. We get to 30th AG, and they still had Shark Attack. They still had the drill sergeants banging on the fucking windows, ripping bags out of people's hands, pushing people the fuck down. Of course, it was so much more worse than before I had came into the military, but it was still bad.
Yeah.
We had EO, which is Equal Opportunity, and SHARP, which is the sexual harassment hotline, the rape hotline, and all of that. That's what SHARP is an acronym for sexual harassment. Don't get me started. But
Aggravated rape.
yeah, but it's not.
Prevention.
Actually, if you got that, I literally give you a medal. Because like they make you go through monthly trainings of that shit because it's so serious. I was doing great in basic. My 22-week cycle was definitely a moment for me to realize how far I can actually push myself, and that it was so much. It was easy to slip in the mindset of, you can do this. Maybe not spiritually, but your body can. How far can you push that shell of yours to go the distance? And I was a PT stud. I did really good during PT, which is your physical training in the mornings at like fucking that before Jesus is awake doing miracles. I had one other gay friend. There was two other gay boys, but I slept my way through the barracks. I won't lie. I was a little slut, but I mean, I needed to get my lick where my lick was due. It just was sweet. Sweet. I had a friend named Kramer, best friend.
Oh, yeah,
He went to 82nd. He's airborne as well. We went to airborne school together.
I see.
Oh, yeah.
Really?
Baby.
Wasn't his birthday just the other day?
Yes,
Yeah.
baby. He is so gay. I love it.
Really?
Okay, so for all of those that may not know, I'm recently out of the military. I got out December 1st. Not the way that I wanted to get out, but it was the fastest way and the safest way for me to get out of the military. Or before I would have known, I may have been the next Vanessa. What people don't understand is you can go into the military, and there was once, before SHARP and EO, there was the Don't Ask, Don't Tell, and a lot of older soldiers who are now in high leadership positions still mentally go by that. If you don't fucking tell me, I'm not gonna ask, blah, 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 I'm whoop-de-woo, I'm not gonna really fuck with you at the end of the day. The SHARP and the EO gave a little bit more of like people who are discriminated against, a little bit more leverage to have a say-so in a lot of what goes on. Not to mellow shit out, but to have everyone come to an understanding that at the end of the day, I do everything that you do. And if anything, I do it better than you. So I think that us as a team should be able to work together to come up with some type of conclusion in order to complete the mission, to push through the objective and make sure that you are safe rather than I'm going to worry about him less because he's gay. After airborne school, I was given 3 different orders to go to Italy. I was supposed to go to Fort Bragg, and then the day I shipped out on my bus, they handed me a new set of orders, and I was going to Fort Polk, Louisiana. That was the place I feared most. It was always wet, it was always humid, it was always nasty weather, hurricanes are crazy down there. I've heard nothing but bad things about Fort Polk, Louisiana. I really tucked my nuts and was like, here the fuck we go. And I want to say, is it a 9 or 19 hours? I can't remember. It felt like 19 hours for sure. a bus ride down from Atlanta down to Louisiana. And I get there at night, and I think I really got hit in the stomach because I was like, what the fuck did I just get myself into? You know, I thought basic and IIT and maybe even more was supposed to be worse than just you going to your unit. I didn't quite understand Geronimo. So all of you that know, all of you that may not know, what Geronimo is the 1st 509th Infantry Airborne Regiment. We were the first airborne regiment to do our fucking job in World War II. The Geronimo is so significant and so good at their job, hence the reason why they are the training unit. They help people become current on being able to deploy. If you don't complete your objectives, it is up to Geronimo, OCs, and everything to be like, listen, this is what they didn't do versus what they did do, and what they didn't complete versus what they did not.
Yeah.
That is up to the determination of the leadership to be like, you know what, I think we ought to take this unit off of deployment status and give them just more training. So our role is very significant to the United States and the people that go and serve your country as a whole. Mm-hmm. Our job was very mentally draining. Our job was very physically draining. We were constantly in the field for 2 weeks out of a month, if not. And sometimes it lapsed. Sometimes we had a week off and you went back into the field the next week. And it was for 2 weeks solid or however long. And you're just constantly taking contact, training, teaching people how to go through things and mentally be able to equip themselves to handle certain situations that the normal person would not be able to. To make combat so much harder than what it would be overseas. And we did that so that these motherfuckers can come home safe. Mm-hmm. And you know, so like that's, for me, Memorial Day has a different meaning to me now because you have soldiers that you've trained. You have soldiers that you've put everything into and they don't come home. Partially why I just could not handle my job because I'm like, what if and of course there's so much more that goes into it. Let me rewind. I got to my unit at night, late at night, and you're given a sponsor and they tell you, get your fucking bags. Or first you go into the auditorium. We went to Bayou Theater, which was across the street actually from my unit. And I mean, thank goodness, I think they made the 10th Mountain guys, who is the first, the 210, which is like 2nd Brigade, 10th Mountain, whatever. They were up the street, and I think they had them walk all the way up the street, which is Louisiana. It's very hilly, believe it or not, and swampy and just wet and moist and nasty. Like me. I was given a sponsor, a very shitty sponsor at that. If you see this, I mean, you were a shitty sponsor. Through me and my roommate in a room, thank God we're on the first story, because the barracks, there were like three stories. We were on the first floor, first door on the right. We had to go get our barracks keys. He was like, get your fucking bags, let's go. Which I expected it. I expected the brutalness, but he didn't know who the fuck I was. He didn't know my sexuality. He didn't know anything about me. He starts asking us questions, just basic like shit that you have to answer in the military for you to be signed out certain shit. Mm-hmm. We get into our barracks, and I get a call from, or the barracks manager lets us in or whatever, and he looks me up and down and gives me a dirty look. Okay, whatever, I don't know what the fuck that means. That's completely okay to me. Who are you? Yeah. I didn't know he was somewhat of a hot shot. He was actually kind of hot. I ain't gonna lie. If he was like, baby, do you want to get your first dick in? Yeah. Dumb. On Bible, I would. And his name was but I mean, I think he's married now. So, I mean, kill him if you see this, come get this nookie. I got a call from my squad leader at the time and was like, we know you're gay. Oh. No one here gives a fuck. Come to work ready tomorrow in order to fucking work. That was like a shock. It was like oh my God, I haven't even told anyone. I know what it's like to have no control over the situation you come into. And this was so much more bigger than me. because it was like, wow, everyone just found out I was fucking gay because my squad leader just called me and said, we know you're gay, no one gives a fuck that you're gay, but everyone gives a fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So take that into consideration. Think about that. Good night. I'll see you at fucking 5 in the morning, 5:30 in the fucking morning. Wow. Okay. You just gotta go to bed and think about how you're gonna prep yourself for tomorrow. I go in there, no one talked to me. No one talked to me, no one spoke to me, no one gave a fuck about who I was, where I came from, what kind of money my parents had, whatever. I liked it. What I didn't like is the fact that the only reputation I had for myself was the fact that I was gay.
Mm.
I had no control of that. And you go into such a alpha male world, and they already feel like they're better than you. Which, I mean, yeah, you've done your job way much longer than me. Good for you, but you don't know me in any type of way. It took me not too long to really insert myself as a dominant bitch. But I had to put my best foot forward and be like, I'm here to learn. At the end of the day, I signed a 4-year contract, and I was very determined in my job because I was like, I wanted to go to war. I wanted, if I were to have died, it would to have been in war. I really felt like I had nowhere in the civilian world to go, and the military was like my option of like, oh my god, this is so fast and so quick, and it's my only option right now. Besides college, I wasn't smart enough to go to college. I couldn't. A bitch was just pretty. If anything, I was sucking dick to get through college. But and I did it through the military. But it's okay. I went to work, and it was like no one wanted to talk to me. No one wanted to fuck with me. No one wanted to be around or connected to the gay guy because it fucked with their image. I get it. When they realized that a bitch was a PT stud and a bitch was really good at his fucking job, it's like the fucking script flipped. And it was like all these friends came out of nowhere because I had came to a realization that I cannot be friends with any of these men. They won't understand me. They won't understand my mission and the reason behind why I do things. So why even give it a shot? Why waste my fucking time trying to please myself to people that don't even come close to being able or should be able to understand me?
And so, what would you have said, or what would you say that your mission was?
To make a change in the Army. To make a change in the Army, when I got to Fort Polk, there was no gay person like me. I still wore the jeans, the shirt, and the backwards hat, and you could just kind of tell I was gay. But it changed so drastically and so fast in front of everybody's eyes, and it was a fucking blossom. Like, if there's one thing I will stroke my cocoa, like, wow, English is hard today. If there's one thing I can stroke my cock about, it is being able to connect to people, being able to sit here and just hear you out and know where you come from, and me being able to reiterate my standing to you for you to be able to understand it on why I do what I do. Creating a footprint in Louisiana was very big, for me, because, like I said, there was no one before me that wore dresses out to the bars and was in stilettos and around all these hillbilly country bayou folk and not get hurt.
Yeah.
Don't let the stilettos and the dress fool you. I'll put you 6 feet in the fucking ground in a heartbeat. Less than the one that I'm allowing you to have right now. Don't fuck with me.
Yeah.
I feel like everyone can run that animal through their fucking mind if it came down to it. But having to consistently be that animal for 4 years is so hard, on top of trying to carry an image for the better of the community, to let everyone know that we're not just these sexual horny people that want to hit on their mans and just want to fuck you and suck your dick and this and that and the third. That's not me.
Yeah.
I will look you in your fucking face and tell you you're ugly. Like, I will. And I have no shame in it. If you're not my type, you're not my type.
Yeah.
Recently, I say recently, but at the time in the military, I had no real gay friends. It was no friends in the military. It was, I went to work and I went to, and that was a strip club. And I worked kind of at the strip club for a little bit. I was never really, but they allowed me to come in fishnets and booty shorts and a corset and walk my ass around the club and make money. Would I get on the pole? Every now and then. But it wasn't like I actually worked there though. But a bitch made money.
Yeah.
Third night out the fucking club, I walked out that bitch with $900. That's a lot of money for off of a military installation. I was really good at my job in many different ways. When I got to my, of course, I told you a little bit about my leadership. My leadership didn't really give a fuck about me, and I just kind of had to flow through things and listen as long as I went along and just learn the ropes of things.
Yeah.
Which I mean, a lot of people do go through just in life. You have to just listen to everyone else and what they're saying and just go based off of that in order to make your own decisions. When I got to the point to where I can implement my own type of leadership into my platoon and into the company, so much damage has already been done. 2 months, so within a month of me being at Fort Polk, I started stripping. And I was drinking a lot. I was 19. I didn't really know right from wrong. I just knew that I had a job, and it consisted of me being a emotionless fucking animal. Like I had to be. In order for the greater good of our country, for you to sit at home and sit on your phone and watch this video right now, I had to really sacrifice my own mental state for that. I had to make sure that you can sit here and have the luxuries that you do. And it's not just me. There's so many more people that I wish could get out of the military because they have so much potential that they're just wasting in the military itself. If the economy could grow and the economy could do just so much better than what it's doing right now, and take away the military, we would never need a fucking military. We would never need a military. We do that to be a bully. Every country has a military to be a bully. They say it's for protection, but we see what the world is going through today, and it's very scary. And that's where I took my job to heart because, oh my goodness, put me in combat, I would have won medals. Like everything that I've done in my training, our training, we would jump in at 3 o'clock in the fucking morning, a night MASTAC jump. I was airborne, and you're hitting the ground fucking 13 to 15 miles per hour depending on the wind blow. And the moment you fucking slam into the ground and perfect your PLF, which is your parachute landing form, you gotta take contact. You gotta take your weapon out, put it into action, and just start fucking laying rounds down range. I've trained with the Rangers, I've trained with the Special Forces, I've trained with the French Army, the Indonesian Army, the Mexican Army, so many different allies that I didn't even know the United States had under their arm, under their wing.
I'm like, are we able to know that?
You do now.
I'm like, is this the last episode of the movie?
This is the last time you'll ever see me.
So let me ask you this: now that you're out, it's been a couple months. How is that change coming in? How is that? What does that look like for you, or how has that looked like for you?
Getting out of the military, I would say, was very the transition was crazy. I told my captain I was going to be a sugar baby because you have to do all of these finance forms and shit. Lost my sugar daddy before I got out of the military. Very bad, very bad. The bitch was down bad, so I moved in with some friends. One thing that I could definitely embed from the military into my personal life as a civilian now is you really don't know in today's society who you can trust versus being with someone your whole military career and knowing that they got your back. You have to really keep those walls up, which I think really triggers a PTSD in me that's very severe because I'm like, if I can't even trust you with my words, what makes you think that I can trust you with my life?
Mm-hmm.
And my life is something that oh my gosh, like you put me in a room full of 12 people and my life is so much more to me than those 12 people.
Yeah.
I will make sure that I'm that person that comes out of that room. You have to really be able to pull apart, like pull pork, bitch, and get to the bone of your friends. You got to get to the bone marrow of who is really in your clique.
Yeah.
You are in a place where it's so populated to where today you don't even know your left from your right, even if you were to put them motherfuckers up in letters.
And there was something that you said earlier about, like, you know, you trust your equipment.
Oh my goodness, yeah. If today, in the military, they told us, you know, you got to trust your equipment for you to feel safe and for you to know that you can trust the people around you. That's your equipment. If you were to trust your friends like you would trust your equipment if you were to jump out of a plane or shoot someone or your equipment in general, your team, your friends are your equipment. Without your equipment, who are you? You can't trust. You don't feel like you have that support system. And that support system is your equipment. If your equipment isn't working, you switch out your equipment for better equipment. You do. You can't trust faulty equipment. Whether that is your best friend of years on years of end, you need to understand and have that belief in yourself that you're so much more than what you are offering and giving yourself right now. And you can do better than that. Why settle? Why settle? It makes no sense.
Yeah.
For you to settle for something that's so much less than what you can actually become just individually,
yeah.
Your equipment is so important. And you have to make sure that everything's tied down. You have to make sure everything's locked in and everything's ready to fucking go for combat. Replace that, take that out of the military and put that into your civilian world. Your friends can be your equipment. This can be your equipment. If this doesn't work, you're going to replace it. You should look at your friends like you look at your equipment. Because your equipment is what's going to bring you to success. If you've got good equipment, you've got good potential to be successful. Baby.
Come on.
You need it because the best equipment makes the best. You know, from the United States, and the United States has some of the biggest bully of power and equipment that I know of. If it didn't work, we'd switch it out. No different from why we're giving it to Ukraine. That's our old equipment. We're making new equipment because we didn't trust in our last ones. It's okay. And I think a lot of people struggle with that being okay.
Yeah.
They really do. And because everyone feels like they have to fit in somewhere, and you really don't. Why fit in when you can stand out?
Ooh. And I think that's such a tough thing for people to...
It's scary.
Yeah, understand. It's like, life is so broad.
So broad. So big.
Yeah.
I jumped out of planes in darkness. And if I could explain life, that's how I would explain it. They tell you to look when you're about to exit an aircraft, whether it's a C-17 or a C-130 or an H-60, a fucking helicopter, Black Hawk. You look into the distance and you look up on the horizon so you don't look down. You look into the distance, but at night you look into the black abyss. Your life is a black abyss because it has yet to happen. It has yet to happen. Only you can take that leap of faith and know that you will be okay based off of your equipment.
Amen. So now it's 6 months. Would you say
I'm
that?
an honorable veteran. I was a general under honorable, but now I'm an honorable.
Period. So now that it's been 6 months, would you say that you have fostered that equipment? Like, what? Because I know a lot of people come out of the military and they say that veterans.
It takes time.
Yeah.
It really takes time. Because you'll never be perfect.
No.
I will never be perfect. No one will ever be perfect. And you have to put those pieces together and really just implement new things into your everyday life to make somewhat of a change. If you live every day how you did the day before, you're not going anywhere.
Amen.
You're not. And I think you would think that that'd be common sense, but people are complacent. People are comfortable. Mm-hmm. And they feel that just because they're that way, that they are doing good. Mm. They're not. They are in the same place they were 2 weeks ago. Where's the growth? Those are where you need to look. And if you have a friend that you notice does that thing, or does things like that, where they're just like, oh, well, I'll change it tomorrow, or I'll go for a run next week. You're gonna be put in that complacent mode and not be able to grow from it. You're not gonna get faster. You're not gonna get stronger, and you're not mentally gonna help yourself. Mm. You're not gonna feel better about yourself. You're just gonna feel like a loser, and you're gonna let that get to you, and you're gonna feel as if every day is just a punch in my fucking face, and I'm just gonna sit here and lie down and fucking take it because I know I can, because I have the grunt to go for it. And I know this because I've done it. I've sat there and I knew that I could take the beating from the fucking world because I've done worse than that. Who wants to live like that? Who wants to live in such a sad mindset? I'm on here to better myself. I'm on here to be with my friends. I'm here for you. I'm here for me. I'm here just to grow in general. I'm here to grow this platform that you're growing. And I'm so proud of you and everything that you've stood for in the past 4 years that I've been gone, because I've come back and I noticed that my friends are the friends that I thought that they were. And they are. My friends are growing. My friends are bettering themselves. I know that I had to have done something in my fucking life for my friends. And this isn't me taking credit entirely, but just as a friend, to know that I've been there and somewhere in your life I've touched your heart and you've touched mine to want drive, to want, whether it's better for yourself, better for your friends, better for your family, better as an entirety. You want better.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's something that all me and my friends have in common, is we want better for ourselves, regardless of the bullshit that people or anything or the world puts us through. I've crawled through mud. I've been shot at. I've been very, very close to dying. I've had friends that have died. There's so much more that I can accomplish being alive.
Yeah.
And I think me getting out of the military was one of those decisions I had to make for myself, and realize that I have so much more potential than just fighting in a field. And I had to come home. I had to come home because I needed my friends. It wasn't the other way around. It wasn't the fact that y'all needed me. I needed you guys. And that's why I'm home.
I'm like, oof, do I cry? Girl! Y'all motherfuckers is really just out here. I feel like I'm damn near tuned up on every episode I've recorded this season. Wow!
It's just like, oh my god, I can't even sit here and be like, imagine what I've gone through. Because you couldn't.
Yeah.
And I could never expect any of my friends to imagine what I've gone through. Because you're a gay man. You know, you can only imagine how hard that is in just being that, let alone having to do the taskings that I've been given. Oh my god. And I'm glad it was me. You know, I'm so glad it was me, because if it was anybody else, I can only imagine what it would have been like. Not saying that I don't believe in that my friends could have done what I've done, but I mean, fuck. I would have to, you know? And like, same thing I tell my mom, like, I don't want my little brothers to ever feel like that is something that they're obligated to do because I did it. I got out for a reason, and I got out the fastest way possible. But it was for the sake of everybody back at home. And I realized that I was fighting something so much bigger than. I really hated the fact that my feelings were invalidated, because there's so much potential to just grow from being kind to one another. And I think the world is in such a hateful place right now, to where it is detrimental to so much, and especially younger people that are so common on social media today.
Mm-hmm.
And I mean, fuck, I'm 22. I'm so young. I'm so young, and I know so much about the world and so much about how things function to this day. But I don't throw that in anyone's face.
Yeah.
I mean, fuck, I sit here and I tell you I'm a veteran. I was a badass. That's all you need to know about me. Like, I was a badass. Fuck, me and you get into a fight, you're gonna crawl away or probably leave in an ambulance. Why would I lie to you? You could be fucking 6'4", let's go. I'm trained to be an animal. And I would say growing from that, I'll cut myself off after this. Growing from just being that animal, I've realized that I have so much more in me than just that. And I think that was just a starting point, and I shouldn't let that be my ending point.
Amen. That, I think, and I'm going to leave it off on here, is I think so many of us get caught in what it is that we're doing in the now. You know, it's like we get into this job and it's like, this is what I do. And that's what I'm going to continue to do. I'm a student. I'm this and that. And
that's all you view yourself as.
Exactly, because the world views you as that, or because you've been so stuck in doing that for X amount of time. And it's so hard to be able to get yourself out of that. You know, I could easily just say, you know what, fuck this podcast. I'm going to work my 9 to 5. my whole life because this is what I'm good at. This is what I know. It pays the bills. But instead, I choose to wake up every day.
You gotta be uncomfortable to be comfortable.
Exactly.
One day. You have to.
Exactly.
I mean, oh my goodness, yelling is one thing I had to fucking get over. I don't yell now. You could have. I mean, unless we're gonna scrap like.
I always tell people I don't. You want to fight? There's a bed for that.
Oh,
Okay.
You want to beat us up? Beat up this cake.
Okay, that is the only time I'm fighting. You know, I'm so past that. I'm so past a lot of things, and
You've
I think
grown so much.
yeah, and that's the point. Is if you're not growing, it's like no matter you have to take your lessons.
You gotta show results.
Exactly.
You have to. You can't just talk about it.
You can't. You took what you gained from the military, and one way or another, that is going to translate into your civilian life. It may be a hard transition. It may be an easy transition. It may be, you may look at it like, I'm going to get this done in a year or so. And realistically, it takes so much longer. But I just want to say thank you so much for, coming on to the podcast.
Thank you for having me. It's been an honor. I feel like it's always amazing every time we get to catch up.
It really, and I will never forget the conversation that we had in my last apartment on that patio. We got so drunk afterwards, but...
And that was the initial recap.
It was.
It was just so much more in depth than what it would be today.
Yeah.
But you know what? I'm ready to recap this.
Yeah.
I'm ready to just move forward and past that and just see where we end up. I'm ready to see where we end up in the next 5 years. Ready to see where we end up in the next 10 years. And that's how proud we will be of one another.
Exactly. Because this is just the starting point,
It is. It's just the tip of the iceberg.
Take what you gain.
Can and never give shit back.
Period. Well, give shit back.
As charity work.
Exactly.
Don't listen. I'm mean.
Take it back, but yeah.
Get what you can out of it.
I'm like, but what you will be given is a motherfucking subscriber. Okay? Make sure to hit that subscribe button because, come on now. Help me quit my motherfucking 9 to 5.
Help keep us pretty.
Period. No, that part. And where can they find you?
Oh my gosh, you can find me on just about any social media platform, preferably Instagram at BlueRoyal01. You can find me on my Instagram or my Snapchat at Your Excellence, all E's, no A's. Don't look for me on my Facebook because you'll find my daddy, but he's happily married, so don't worry about that.
Oh, anything else?
No, other than that, I'm really looking forward to where this journey takes us, and I'm really looking forward to you guys knowing a lot more about us and how we can operate as not only a unit, but just how we can inspire so many other people.
Well, it's always a pleasure.
The pleasure is all mine. It's a privilege.
And thank you so much for being on here and helping me, achieve the goal of this podcast, where I want the podcast to go. Means so much. I'm not gonna cry.
Go for it, just one tear. I need one for validation.
It does mean a lot, and I'm excited to see where. Oh, girl, don't do that. Don't do that. I'm like, and done.
On the next episode, we'll teach you manipulation.
But as always, hit that subscribe button, babes. I love y'all, Tasties, and I'll see y'all in next week's episode.
Bye bye.